Hello everyone, welcome to History class. Today we are going to discuss Lesson 9 of History, Socio-Religious Reforms. Socio means related to society, religious means related to religion, and reforms means changes brought for betterment. That means we are going to discuss about the changes which were brought for the betterment in the society as well as in the religion. The main objectives of the lesson are: you will come to know about anti-sati movement, widow remarriage movement, Ramakrishna mission, Theosophical Society, movement against child marriage, women's education movement, caste reforms, Sikh reform movements, reform among Muslims and Parsis. And the topic of the day is anti-sati movement and widow remarriage movement. The main objectives of today's topic are: you will come to know about the reforms brought by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar and Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Now let us discuss new words related to today's topic. Reform, removal of defects and putting things in a better form, or changes brought for the betterment. Religious reformer, a person who brings reforms in the religion. Social reformer, a person who brings reforms in the society. Campaign, a series of organized activities such as public speaking. Sati, a former practice in Hinduism of a wife burning herself with the dead body of her husband. Polygamy, having more than one wife at the same time. Child marriage, marriage of a girl or a boy before the age of 18. Renaissance, Renaissance is a French word that means rebirth. Nationalism, feeling of love and pride for one's nation. Now, before starting the reading, let us discuss about socio-religious reform movements of the 19th century. The socio-religious reform movements of the 19th century were great pioneers of the Indian nationalism. The impact of Western education, which led to a rational, humanitarian and scientific approach to life, made the educated Indians realize the need to reform their religion and society. The result was the birth of socio-religious reform movements touching almost every segment of the Indian society. In the social sphere, these movements worked for the abolition of caste system, child marriage, dowry system, parda system, sati and infanticide. They launched a crusade against social and legal inequalities. In the religious sphere, these reform movements combated religious superstitions, attacked idolatry and hereditary priesthood. Now let us read from the book. In the 19th century, there were many social evils prevalent in the Indian society. Prevalent means existed. The practice of sati, child marriage, and female infanticide were very common. The widows were not allowed to remarry. Basically, the beginning of the 19th century was considered as a dark period in the Indian history. 200 years ago, things were very different from what they are today. Many social evils existed in the Indian society during the 19th century. Like most children were married off at a very early age. And even in many parts of India, widows were praised if they chose to throw themselves on the funeral pyres of their dead husbands and were called satis. And even very few people wanted a girl child to be born in their homes, and yet they worshipped female goddesses. So, the killing of the female baby was very common in the Indian society during the 19th century. Meanwhile, a new class of people was emerging in India. They took to Western education. They argued about the evils of the existing social practices. They felt the need to eradicate these evils. Eradicate means remove. They launched movements for social reforms. These movements produced multifaceted results. Multifaceted means mixed. So, a new class of people emerged in India during the 19th century. They emphasized on the Western education and were against the social evils which were existing in India. They felt need to remove those social evils, and for removing those social evils, they launched many movements in order to bring reforms in the society as well as in the religion. And these movements produced multiple results. Now let us read and discuss about anti-sati movement. Raja Ram Mohan Roy pioneered the reform movements.
He established the Brahmo Samaj in 1828.
He was well versed in Sanskrit, Persian, and several other languages. He authored a number of books and wrote against the caste system, sati, and other social evils. He was also against child marriage and polygamy. Polygamy means having more than one wife at the same time. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was an Indian religious, social, and educational reformer. He was the first great social religious reformer of the 19th century who strongly felt that changes were necessary in the society in order to do away with the unjust practices. That is why he founded a reform association called Brahmo Sabha, later known as the Brahmo Samaj, in Calcutta, the present day Kolkata, in 1828. Being well versed in Sanskrit, Persian, and other languages, he tried to bring out through his writings that sati had no sanction in our ancient religious books. He wrote various books against sati system and many other social evils. He was also against the child marriage, polygamy, parda system, etc. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was a great supporter of English education. He regarded this as a means of spreading modern ideas. Means Raja Ram Mohan Roy supported English language and regarded English as a medium of spreading modern and new ideas. He raised his voice against social evils. He took a lead in raising a voice against social evils. He led a campaign against sati through his journal Samvad Kamudi. He proved that the practice of sati was neither humane nor sanctioned by the ancient texts. Means Raja Ram Mohan Roy raised his voice against social evils during the 19th century. He campaigned hard against the cruel practice of sati through his magazine Samvad Kamudi. He proved that the practice of sati was neither considered nor allowed by the old texts. During that time, Lord William Bentinck was the Governor General. He was also against the practice of sati. In 1829, the British government passed a law to ban the practice of sati. Means during 19th century, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, with the support of other English reformers in India like Lord William Bentinck, got sati system banned and made punishable law in 1829 against the sati system. After that, he went to England as the ambassador of the Mughal emperor in 1831. Ambassador means diplomat, and in Hindi we call it Rajdoot. He died there in 1833. Means Raja Ram Mohan Roy died in England in 1833, where he had gone as a special diplomat of the Mughal emperor to ensure that Lord Bentinck's regulation banning the practice of sati was not overruled. The ideas of Raja Ram Mohan Roy inspired many people to start similar movements in other parts of India. Hence, it seems correct when Rabindranath Tagore calls him the father of the Indian Renaissance and the prophet of Indian nationalism. Means many people were inspired by the ideas of Raja Ram Mohan Roy and they too started the similar movements in different parts of India as Raja Ram Mohan Roy had started during the 19th century. Rabindranath Tagore used to call him the father of Indian Renaissance and the prophet of Indian nationalism due to his mass awakening and rational thinking. Now let us read and discuss about widow remarriage movement. The condition of widows was extremely pathetic. They had to shave their heads and wear white clothes. They could not attend religious and social ceremonies. They could eat only a specific kind of food. The social reformers of the 19th century raised their voices against the pitiable condition of the women. Means during the 19th century, the situation of widows was very pitiful. They were not allowed to attend religious and social gatherings. They were given a specific kind of food to eat. They were not allowed to wear colorful clothes, and after the death of their husband, their heads were shaved. During the 19th century, many social reformers rose their voice against the pitiable condition of the women. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar took the lead in the widow remarriage movement.
He openly supported the cause of widow remarriage in Bengal. He proved that widow remarriage was not prohibited by the Shastras, the sacred scriptures of Hindus. Orthodox Hindus criticized Vidyasagar. Criticized means alochna karna. However, his efforts ultimately led to the passing of the Hindu Widows Remarriage Act in 1856. Basically, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was the brilliant man who stood up for the women of 19th century India. He worked to uplift the status of women in India, especially in the native Bengal. He was a social reformer and wanted to change the conservative Hindu society from within. He introduced the practice of widow remarriage and worked against polygamy. So we can say that Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar played a significant role in making widow remarriage lawful. He, like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, used the ancient Hindu texts to suggest that widows could remarry. His suggestions were adopted by the British officials. Lord Dalhousie passed the Widow Remarriage Act by which it became legal for a widow to remarry. Vidyasagar attended the first widow remarriage in Calcutta, the present day Kolkata in West Bengal in 1856. And by the second half of the 19th century, the movement in favor of widow remarriage spread to other parts of the country. And many other reformers like Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Swami Vivekanand, and Justice Ranade advocated the cause of widow remarriage. Now let us read and discuss about Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Dayanand Saraswati founded the Arya Samaj in 1875. He established gurukuls to impart Vedic education. Impart means transmit. Arya Samaj treats everybody as equal irrespective of their gender. Means Swami Dayanand Saraswati was an Indian philosopher, social leader, and founder of the Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj is the Indian Hindu reform movement that promotes values and practices based on the belief in the infallible authority of the Vedas. The Samaj was founded by the sannyasi Dayanand Saraswati on April 10, 1875, and the members of the Arya Samaj believed in one God and rejected the worship of idols and treated everyone equally. Swami Dayanand Saraswati made several gurukuls to transmit education related to Vedas. Vedas are the religious texts originated in ancient India. These were composed in Vedic Sanskrit, and the texts constitute the oldest scriptures of Hinduism. There are four Vedas: the Rig Veda, the Sam Veda, the Yajur Veda, and the Atharva Veda. Dayanand Saraswati criticized caste system, idolatry, and child marriage. Idolatry means worship of idols. He advocated the ideal marriageable age for a girl to be between 16 and 24 years and for men between 25 and 40 years. Dayanand Saraswati was the first religious leader who favored the advances of science and technology. Means Swami Dayanand Saraswati worked towards reviving Vedic ideologies. He strongly opposed caste system, worship of idols, and child marriage. He recommended that the correct marriageable age for a girl must be between 16 and 24 years, and the correct marriageable age for a boy must be between 25 and 40 years. And amongst all the religious reformers of the 19th century, Swami Dayanand Saraswati was the first religious reformer who was in favor of science and technology. He was the first to talk about Swaraj, that is, self rule for India. He inspired freedom fighters through his book Satyarth Prakash. His greatest work was to return the knowledge of the Vedas to the world. His slogan was Back to the Vedas. He proved the superiority of the Vedas. Means Swami Dayanand Saraswati was the first who gave the call for Swaraj, that is, self rule for India and Indians, in 1876. He wrote a book named Satyarth Prakash, and he wrote this book in order to spread the knowledge of the Vedas and to educate people on the true qualities of God. The important topics in the book included worship of one god, explanation of the main principles of the Vedas, elimination of the caste system and of the different religious beliefs for strengthening of society, eradication of superstitions, and promoting brotherhood, etc. He gave the slogan back to the Vedas. That means he wanted to impart education related to the Vedas to the entire world. The Arya Samaj also accepted Shudras. Shudras were considered the lower class people or the untouchables. The Arya Samaj opened many schools and colleges for boys and girls. They are known as DAV, that is Dayanand Anglo Vedic Schools.
So we can say that the Arya Samaj, which is the Indian Hindu reform movement, opened many schools and colleges for both boys and girls all over India. And these schools and colleges are known by the name DAV. DAV stands for Dayanand Anglo Vedic. The word Anglo means English and Vedic means Vedic culture. Mainly in order to save and flourish the pious Vedic culture and to spread education in English as well as in Anglo education system, that is modern science and maths, DAVs were set up. The establishment of DAVs were based on the ideals of the religious and social reformer Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Mahatma Hans Raj, one of the member of the Arya Samaj, founded Dayanand Anglo-Vedic Schools system in Lahore in 1886, where the first DAV school was set up in the memory of Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Other than this, many other reforms were propagated in different parts of India. Like in the Western India, the reform was propagated by Vishnu Shastri, and he was the one who founded Widow Remarriage Association in 1850s. Moreover, Kandukuri Veerasalingam was a leading social reformer from Andhra Pradesh, and he worked for the widow remarriage and the betterment of the condition of the widows. And after that, Dadabhai Naoroji started an Anglo-Gujarati newspaper in 1854 to propagate widow remarriage and other reforms. So, we can conclude that the several ill practices were prevalent in the 19th century in India. The educated Indians came forward to reform the society. As a result, several social movements came into picture. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, and Swami Dayanand Saraswati were some of the prominent reformers. They worked to eradicate social evils from India. Now, I hope today's topic is clear to you. Your today's homework is to learn the related terms and try to solve the related back exercises.